Yeah. Okay, good evening, everyone. Just as the musicians are getting set up and going to start warming up, feel free to keep chatting. If you want some tea, there's a tea station out front. If you feel thirsty and want some water, there's some water out front. Washrooms are in the foyer, or one washroom is in the foyer, and if that one's occupied, another one is in the basement directly beneath it. But otherwise, just make yourselves at home. We have about 10 minutes of just sort of casual, let's hang out together, and then we'll switch into meditation. Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. Welcome to tonight's Elevate. Before we get started with our meditation, I'm just going to remind everyone, if you haven't already, please turn off your devices, put them onto mute, notifications off, just so that we don't get any additional dings or pings vying for our attention as we practice focusing and being present right here, right now. Exhibit A. So let's just take a few moments to arrive. Take a few moments to slow down, allow our bodies to start to settle, allow our breath to lengthen, allow ourselves the opportunity to start letting go of everything that has come before, right here, right now. Letting go of any concerns for the future, and simply allowing ourselves to settle into each now moment more fully, more presently, with more awareness. And as Peter and Kelby begin to offer a soundscape filled with unique rhythms and vibrations and sounds, I invite us all to close our eyes or lower our gaze, whatever it is that feels nourishing and supportive, whatever it is that allows us to let go of visual distractions vying for our attention. And as we continue arriving in each now moment, as we continue letting go, I invite you to shift your attention to the breath, noticing how it moves in and out through the nostrils, in and out through the lungs, noticing how it glides down the back of the throat, filling every interspace of being along the way. And as we continue noticing, simply allowing ourselves to be breathed, to be lived, to be known into being by that one dynamic, energetic flow that is the essence of everyone and everything. And so as we continue to arrive, allowing ourselves to settle into this rhythm of breath, this rhythm of life, allowing our bodies to continue to soften, allowing breath to create spaciousness in every fiber of our being, I offer you this quote from Louise Hay. I know that many adventures lie before me, and I am eager to experience them all. Once again, I know that many adventures lie before me, and I am eager to experience them all. So as we move into about 15 minutes of focused, uninterrupted meditation, in this month of openness at the Victoria Truth Center, I invite us all to open up to whatever it is that is being stirred within our bodies, in our minds, from the very depths of our soul, when we consider that every now moment is a brand new opportunity to live, to lean in, to embrace, to be expanded by the infinite potentiality of life. And what might life look like, and what could it feel like if we simply opened up to the infinite adventures that are just ready and waiting for us to lean in? So here we go, about 15 minutes of focused, uninterrupted meditation. So as the soundscape of the Elevate Trio continues to hold us in this moment, continues to inspire, to activate, to move us, I invite you to start shifting your attention back to your physical presence, slowly becoming more aware of your body and the skin that you're in. Slowly becoming more aware of the seat that you're in. Becoming more aware of the environment around you and the space you're taking up. And as we continue becoming more physically aware, I offer you this quote by Louise Hay once again. I know that many adventures lie before me, and I am eager to experience them all. So as we continue moving through the rest of our time together tonight, through the coming hours, days, and weeks ahead. Let us continue opening up to what these adventures might be, knowing that every single now moment is a brand new opportunity to open up to the infinite possibilities of the quantum field, the infinite possibilities for this one dynamic energetic flow to express itself in, through, around, and as us. So now, if comfortable, I invite you to plant both feet firmly on the ground. I invite you to lengthen your spine, and I invite you to extend your arms out by your sides with your palms facing upward. Just allowing yourself a few moments to just bask in the energy, enthusiasm, the infinite potentiality that is whirling and swirling all around. Knowing that that same vibrancy, that same vitality, that same dynamism is alive and well and active within. And now I invite you to scoop it all up, 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 above your head, pressing your palms and fingertips together, and then gently bring it all down, mindfully, purposefully, intentionally, joyfully, and lovingly, all down into your heart. Enjoying a moment of gratitude and appreciation, perhaps deep in connection or awareness, and maybe a little bit of grace. And so let us finish off our meditation with 3 nourishing, life-affirming breaths together. First breath in, and release. Returning back to your regular breath. Second, deep, nourishing, life-affirming breath in. Here we go. And release. Returning back to your regular breath. And with this third breath, I invite us all to receive the biggest, most nourishing, life-affirming breath in yet. Here we go. And at the top, hold, taking in an extra sip if you can. And just be. And release. Returning back to your regular breath. I am so grateful for your time and presence and for everything that comes next. Namaste. And so as the Elevate Trio continues to play, continues to inspire us, I invite you to stand on up and move your body a little bit to become even more physically present with your body, with how you're relating to everyone and everything around you. Loosen up a little after sitting for a bit. And let whatever it is that you just experienced start to integrate into the body. And then to become even more physically aware, I invite you to take a little sip of water or tea if you have some. That'll help to ground you. And as the Elevate Trio transitions into something a little bit more lively, If you're willing, I invite you to find someone nearby and share one thing that came up for you during that meditation as we hear some more music. Elevate Trio, Mr. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Douse on electric bass, and Kelby McNair on drums, and some vocalization there during meditation. I actually had to open my eyes and go, is that what I'm hearing? That was so cool. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, you can go ahead and take a seat because there's no music for a little bit. Welcome, everyone, to Victoria's only spiritual salon. We like to call it Elevate here at the Victoria True Center. And before I go on, I'm going to ask, is there anyone here for the first time on a Thursday? Look at all these hands that are going up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to go from this side of the room. So we have and actually it's great because people have name tags on tonight, but I can't really see them from here. So we have Janet, Denise, Cheryl, and you're here because of the Arts on View newsletter. Excellent. Yay. Thank you, Arts on View. We also have over here, we have Linda and we have Donna. Linda ended up on our mailing list. Herman's. Okay, all right, fantastic. So same thing. So the Arts on View newsletter, right? Yeah, okay, that's great, fantastic. And then we have Kim, and now so many people, I'm remembering you live not far away.
I just live up over by the Jewish cemetery, but
super close.
I've seen the Arts on View thing as well.
Okay.
Subscribe to it. I think I'm on it.
Amazing, fantastic. And then Dan, have you been here on a Thursday night before? You've been here on a Friday at our Spirit of Jazz and Soul concert, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yay, thank you, Hermans. All right, fantastic. All right, well, welcome everyone. So how about we let these people know how welcome they are here at the Victoria True Center the way that we do. We love you, we appreciate you, and we're so glad you're here. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. So you have strolled into what we sometimes call a house of love, because that is what we believe in. That is what we are here to celebrate. That is what we are here to embody. That is what we are here to remind ourselves and each other of, that there's only one thing going on, and whether you call it love or energy or source or creativity or God or the quantum field, that is so much less important than showing up as whatever that thing you call is, okay? And so if there is only one thing going on, it means everyone and everything is that. And so we come together not just to remember, but not just to remember, but to support each other and ourselves in embodying the love that we are, the creativity that we are, the infinite potentiality we are, more fully every moment of every day. And we do that in many different ways. We do that by listening to music. We do that by meditating. We do that by having conscious conversation together. We do that by coming into community, because when we come into community, then sometimes it's easier to remind or be reminded than it is when we're on our own. So how does that sound at Elevate here on a wet Thursday? Still getting used to Thursday evening at BTC. All right, and so every month we have a theme to help us anchor into why is it that we're coming together and what is it that we're celebrating. And this month it is openness, which is the third value on our BTC Values Compass. And we have an affirmation to go with that theme, which is, I live every aspect of life with openness, curiosity, and wonder. And so this is very much about approaching life with a beginner's mind. You know, I know nothing. Now what can I know? So, because this is the first Elevate that we have with this new theme, and because we have so many people here, now is an opportunity where we can have one or two brief shares about what does this theme mean for you? What is this affirmation stirring up for you as you read those words? And how is openness informing your life right now in this moment? Or maybe there's something that you experienced recently that you would like to share. And the reason that we share in community is because that also helps us to connect. It helps us to relate to one another. And sometimes it's also nice to just share. So I have the mic at the ready. If there is someone who would like to offer something into community, totally optional, but I know that there's at least one person who's smiling already who has something that you would like to share. Do you want? Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you. Okay, so recently I went camping and it rained for 4 days. And what was so amazing about that was I was with my family and many friends. And as I was reading this quote, I realized that I enjoyed it and loved it, even though it was raining and it was very wet, because I was open to the experience. Mm-hmm. And in the past, I think without doing some of this work that I've been doing here, I would have been like really critical about it and frustrated and down, and you know, and it was really quite wonderful. And we had moments of sun, but it was like coming from a place of openness and seeing the wonder of it.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share that.
Beautiful. Congratulations on having that experience, and thank you for sharing it with us. Is there anyone else who has a Keely? And sorry, before Keely starts, Denise, could I ask you to close the door, just because I can hear the conversation from the street, and it's distracting for me, so because I'm up here and I need to focus. Thank you. Keely, go ahead.
I just wanted to talk on the word open and how it's really, what's that word that I was saying earlier? Do you remember? Serendipitous, because I've been feeling very open today. Because earlier today, I was thinking about a pattern that has kept happening with my dad, and not feeling like there was much space to have dialogue in a way I wanted to. And so then I scrolled upon this video, and it mentioned how a really good way to help your prefrontal cortex connect to people is by, what was it? Was like doing something challenging. I can't remember exactly the wording, but anyways, I went up to him and I told him, I said, I want to play chess with you, because I have this, it's a little coffee table and it's a chessboard, and I really wanted to play chess. And so he was like, oh, I don't know. And then later on, he came down while I was writing something, and he said, hey, let's play chess. And I said, okay, just give me a minute. So then we set it up, and we were about to pull out all the little pieces, and then we realized we couldn't find any of the pieces. All the little pieces were gone. So then we ended up playing Chutes and Ladders and Uno. And it was exactly that. I was open to just the joy of it, the wonder of it, even though I lost every single game. I was like, really? I always win Uno, but not with my dad apparently, so. Yeah, but it was fun, and I feel like it's very fitting that you have this affirmation and open as your choice.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing your experience, Keely. All right, let's give them a hand, please. So this is an invitation for all of us this month especially to really lean into what does openness mean for us? How does it inform our life? And are we as open as we could be in every aspect of our life? Or could we maybe let go and lean in a little bit more in certain areas and just open up, to the curiosity and the wonder that is available all the time? Okay, so now is time. We only have 3 weeks left, you guys. Can you believe it? We've been going through this book for 3 months, and we only have 3 weeks left. And I mentioned at least once that I thought, oh yeah, I can do this book in like 4 to 6 weeks. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, no, this book, for those who are here for the first time today, is one of my favorite books. And I feel like I have set such a high bar with this book because it is such a phenomenal story. It is such a relatable hero's journey story. And every 5 to 10 pages, it is just so chock-a-block with concepts and ideas and themes that most of us can relate to. And so it's just been very slow going because I just wanted to be super thorough with what was happening here. So last week, there were 3 main points that came up in the excerpt that I was reading from. One was, you can never escape your heart. It is always right there within you. 2, your heart is the source of courage and wisdom, and it will guide you every time if you let it, okay? And then the third one is one of the quotes that was at the end of that excerpt, which was, every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victors being severely tested. Now, before I go on with the story, I actually want to pivot because this morning I went out for a morning walk, which is something that I started doing a few days ago, a little bit different, rather than meditating first thing. Or it's kind of become a new style of meditation for me. And just a walk, no earbuds, listening to a book or music or anything like that, not even having my phone or anything with me, just walking and noticing whatever it is that is sort of piquing my curiosity, whether it's on the road or someone's lawn or in the sky or a sound or whatever. And I try and take a slightly different route every single day so that I'm noticing something different. But even on those same parts, that I go on every single day, there's something new to notice, partly because there's just a gazillion things to take in, but also because I'm a different me every single time, right? I'm a different me every single now moment, because just like the universe is being rebooted every single moment, so are we. And so I'm walking along and I'm looking at all of the things in nature and the sounds and whatever and feeling, wow, it's really hot at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then when I get home, I see on my kitchen counter the little calendar that I look at every day that Stephanie gifted me at Christmas. It's a Louise Hay calendar. And today's quote was the one that we had in meditation. I know that many adventures lie before me, and I am eager to experience them all. And then I noticed the date and realized, this is so apropos for today, because today, August 6th, is the 10th anniversary of Glenn and our daughter Milana and I moving here from Toronto. So it feels like a big delineating moment, like a full decade of being here in Victoria on the West Coast after living most of my life. Glenn, same thing for him, and Milana her entire life up until then in Toronto. And so it got me thinking about how when we first came here 2 years before we made or 2 years before we moved here, we felt called. There was this thing that happened. We climbed Mount Finlayson, and then there was this call, this experience, which was like, how do we make our life be this? What would it take in order for this to happen? And then it was like, okay, by the end of the trip, we figured if we give ourselves 2 years, by then Milana will have to switch schools anyway, because she'll be going from elementary to middle school. And that'll give me enough time to sort of tie up all the stuff that I've been doing with all of my schooling and switching of business, and it'll give Glenn enough time. It'll give us enough time to get rid of what ended up being 75% of our stuff so that we could come here with less and be more open to whatever was waiting for us. And how at the beginning, everything was just like smooth sailing. Like, you know, the calling happened, we made our decision, we leaned in, and we started making plans. And then as we started journeying along, it started to get more and more challenging. You know, we found a school for Milan right away when we were here, but then trying to find a place to live, oh my God, it's like places were evaporating through my fingers, you know, every 30 seconds or so. And it was starting to feel like, oh my gosh, are we actually going to find a place to live? Well, we have to find a place to live, so we're just going to trust and know that there is a place for us. Money that I was counting on from a project that I had worked on, doing some consulting, they refused to pay. And because I didn't have a written contract, there was nothing that I could do about it. So all of this money that I was expecting, all of a sudden, it wasn't there. And then there was another financial challenge. And then there was this, and then there was this. And then we finally ended up making it here. We navigated all of those challenges and all of those obstacles. We got tested again and again and again and again. And then we arrived here 10 years ago off the ferry. I felt we were the first ones to get off the ferry. And even before, you know, like that bar came down, even before we disembarked, I was like, oh, I'm home, you know? And then we had to actually live here. And then all the different kinds of challenges that arose from actually being new people in a new land. Even though we moved from one side of the country to the other, really the center of the universe, to here, it was very, very different than what we anticipated, than what we imagined. And so we were tested along the way so many times. And every single time, even though I was very, very, very at the beginning of my spiritual journey and my consciousness studies, I knew that this was growth. You know, a lot of times it felt gross, it felt hard, it was horrible. There were a lot of tears and a lot of frustration and a lot of like, why is this so hard? But even after 10 years of being here, even after 7 years of consciousness studies, and then getting my master's and getting my doctorate and being the spiritual director here at the Victoria Truth Center, even in looking back at all of the stuff that we went through, it wasn't so much the stuff that we went through, which was the incredible, amazing thing that happened. It was that we were able to navigate every single one of those challenges, kind of like the boy does in the book, because we knew who we are at our core. And so no matter how hard it was, and man, it was hard sometimes, we trusted. We trusted even when we're like, we have no idea how this is going to work out. We trusted that we would be supported along the way. So back to the book, where we left off in the book, every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victor being severely tested. And so the alchemist and the boy are now traveling towards the pyramids, and they're about 2 or 3 days away or something, and it's just the two of them now. And the boy, he is going for it, right? He is moving towards realizing his personal legend, and the alchemist is supporting him, and the boy keeps thinking all he has to do is learn about alchemy and get to the pyramids, and then that's it. He will realize his personal legend. So he's paying attention to the desert, he's getting really quiet and contemplative, but he's also paying attention to his heart. He's become friends with his heart. They have a very strong connection now, and so he's really, really dialed in. But all of a sudden, one day, the heart signals Danger Bay. And so they see that there are a couple of tribesmen that are masked, and they're there, and they're not looking very, very pleased that the alchemist and the boy are treading along this path. And so they start to question them, and they ask them, what are they doing here? What is it that they have with them? And then the alchemist says, that's the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life. It's the master work of the alchemists. Whoever swallows that elixir will never be sick again, and a fragment from that stone turns any metal into gold. The Arabs laughed at him, and the alchemist laughed along. They thought his answer was amusing, and they allowed the boy and the alchemist to proceed with all of their belongings. Are you crazy? The boy asked the alchemist when they had moved on. What did you do that for? To show you one of life's simple lessons, the alchemist answered. When you possess great treasures within you and try to tell others of them, seldom are you believed. Anyone have this experience? You discover something, you want to share it with the world, and then people are like, whoa, that's crazy. One of the first stories that we read in advanced consciousness studies many, many years ago was Plato's allegory, The Cave, and that's that very story. There's this guy that's chained up with all these other guys in a cave. They've been chained up their entire lives, and they're watching these things on the wall, which are shadows, which they think are real. But then one day, one of them is freed, and he realizes that, oh, there is another way to live, not all shackled in these chains, that these things on the wall are not actually real things, that they are shadows that are being projected by something going on behind them, but they've never been able to turn around and see what's behind them, so they have no idea what's there. And then, not only that, he goes out of the cave and discovers all of this incredible life that they have no idea about in the cave. And so he experiences all these amazing things, and he's like, I have to tell all my friends in the cave, this is so amazing. He goes back to tell them. They don't want to hear any of it. They're like, this is what we know. We're totally fine the way we are. We're totally fine to be shackled and watching these things on the wall because that's all there is to life. And so that's it. He's left with, okay, I can go and do what I want to do, but, I can't make them understand. I can't make them want to be unchained. I can't make them live the kind of life that I would like to live for myself. So this is what the alchemist is trying to tell the boy. So, excuse me. So as they keep walking along the desert, they have conversations about alchemy. They have more conversations about personal legends. The boy keeps asking questions. The alchemist keeps answering them. But the boy is still curious about, when are you going to teach me about alchemy? And the alchemist is like, I don't need to teach you anything. You already have everything in you that you need to know, especially because you're following your personal legend. And then all of a sudden, one day, as the sun is setting, they're stopped by 3 armed tribesmen. They question them. These 3 tribesmen believe that the alchemist and the boy are spies for one of the other tribes. And then they find the philosopher's stone and the elixir of life, and the alchemist says, I'm in the wrong place, is what the alchemist says. No. Then they are taken to a military camp and questioned and accused of being spies. And the alchemist just claims to be a wanderer, just someone who's adventuring, looking at the stars, being in the desert, doing whatever it is that he wants to do, but he has nothing to do with the wars. But what he also tells them is that the boy is this incredible wizard, this sorcerer, that he has incredible powers, and that one of the things that he can do is turn himself into the wind. Now, the boy is kind of wondering, what the hell, right? As he's listening to the alchemist tell these what he thinks are tall tales. And so the tribesmen are like, that's ridiculous. We know what sorcerers are capable of. We know what nature is capable of, and there's no way that a man could turn himself into the wind. But the alchemist is like, well, you know what? He can show you. All he needs is 3 days. And so they're like, okay, fine. We want to see it. Show us. And the alchemist is like, sure, no problem. And if he actually doesn't do it, we offer you our lives in honor of your tribe. So, the sun was setting when the boy's heart sounded a danger signal. They were surrounded by gigantic dunes, and the boy looked at the alchemist to see whether he had sensed anything. But he had appeared to be unaware of any danger. 5 minutes later, the boy saw 2 horsemen waiting ahead of them. Before he could say anything to the alchemist, the 2 horsemen had become 10 and then 100. And then they were everywhere in the dunes. They were tribesmen dressed in blue with black rings surrounding their turbans. Their faces were hidden behind blue veils with only their eyes showing. Even from a distance, their eyes conveyed the strength of their souls, and their eyes spoke of death. And so as the boy is in this camp with these frightening tribesmen thinking, I have no idea how to turn myself into the wind, he's so afraid that he's going to die. But the alchemist tells him, don't let them see that you're afraid. They are brave men and they despise cowards. But the boy couldn't even speak. He was able to do so only after they had walked out through the center of the camp. There was no need to imprison them. The Arabs simply confiscated their horses. So once again, the world had demonstrated its many languages. The desert only moments ago had been endless and free, and now it was an impenetrable wall. You gave them everything I had, the boy said, because the alchemist took the boy's gold and gave it to the tribesman. Everything I've saved in my entire life. Well, what good would it be to you if you had to die? The alchemist answered. Your money saved us for 3 days. It's not often that money saves a person's life. Don't give in to your fears, said the alchemist in a strangely gentle voice. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart. But I have no idea how to turn myself into the wind. If a person is living out his personal legend, he knows everything he needs to know. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. I'm not afraid of failing. It's just that I don't know how to turn myself into the wind. Well, you'll have to learn. Your life depends on it. But what if I can't? Then you'll die in the midst of trying to realize your personal legend. That's a lot better than dying like millions of other people who never even knew what their personal legends were. But don't worry, the alchemist continued. Usually, the threat of death makes people a lot more aware of their lives. And so that very last message can be taken literally, and sometimes this is what happens for people. They're in a serious accident, they get diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, something happens, they lose something that is so very precious to them, it makes them reconsider everything about life. But it can also be more metaphorical because it can pertain to anything in our lives. And when I think of what we had to let go of when we left Toronto so that we could open up to what was possible and waiting here for us in Victoria, we had to let go of everything and everyone that we had come to know for over 30 years for my husband and me, and for over 10 years for our daughter Milana. And to be able to let go of something is the key, because when you are holding on to something like this, how can you possibly be open to something else? And so we need to be able to be willing to let go of what came before, to let all the relationships, all the experiences, all the memories, all the ideas, all the perceptions, everything, we need to be willing to let it go, to let it die, so to speak, so that we can open up to a new version of ourselves, to a new version of what's possible for us in life. And so this is what is happening for the boy in the story. And so the title of my talk today is The Alchemy of Adventure. So in this excerpt, what the alchemist is trying to convey is, don't give in to your fears, because if you do, you're going to miss all of the amazing intuitive information and wisdom that your heart has to offer, because you'll be so preoccupied with all of the other stuff that is going on out here, you will miss all of the whispers and all of the everything that is coming from within. But he's also saying, if a person is living out his personal legend, he knows everything there is to need to know. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. And if we go way back in the book, which seems like months ago at this point, the Englishman, that was the thing that was standing in his way, right? He realized that he was worried about failing, so he didn't even bother trying. So the whole point here is, face your fear and do it anyway. And trust and know that as you do that and pay attention to your heart, you will be guided and supported along the way. And then at the end, usually the threat of death makes people a lot more aware of their lives. This basically means allow yourself the opportunity to let go. Let go of everything that has been so that you can open up to what can be. So if we go back to the Louise Hay quote, I know that many adventures lie before me and I am eager to experience them all. This is an incredible invitation for all of us to let go of any preconceived notions of what life is supposed to look like, how it is supposed to feel based on what we have known and chosen and experienced up until now, and simply allow ourselves to open up with curiosity and wonder to what is possible. So in the end, the point of our adventures isn't to necessarily make meaning out of everything that has happened before. It's to realize that we were fully able to navigate every single step along the way because of who and what we are. And as we recognize, as we remember, as we more fully embody that love, that creativity, that power, that presence, that profundity, whatever it is you want to call it, the more we embody that through every single breath, every single thought, every single choice, every single action step, then the more equipped we are to handle whatever it is that life might toss our way. Thank you, and so it is. Oh. So now is an opportunity for some conscious connection to maybe cool down a little bit. We can actually open that front door again because the noise will be okay now. But yeah, so now if you would like is an opportunity to get into little groups of 2 or 3 or 4 and just talk about what it is that's coming up for you based on the talk, on the music, your experience of Elevate tonight. And if you would rather not, that's okay too. There is an interactive table at the back. Go and get some fresh air. But either way, I will ding the meditation bowl when it's time to come back. Okay? Thank you.
here and once a month in August.
Whereabouts in Sydney?
On Bower Bank Road.
Some of them are acquisition type attorneys, and some of them are more the first one for me was
Yes. Yes, yeah, it's got headphones on. So there's people guiding. Yes, and it's called 9D because there's subliminal layers within the journey. So there's music, but there's also vocal messages. No, I'm in nothing. Whatever. It's to help deepen your journey with suggestions of what that particular theme is.
So Lisa is doing this, making the suggestions.
Yeah, she's not the one who's if you look up 9D, you know, yeah, well, 9D just is a patented method developed by Mr. individual. I can't remember his name. Anyway, and it's just become a very effective tool for a lot of people, including myself and my daughter. She's the one who's talking and yeah. Like, you know, just to find out these, like, release, what's that one about their family, releasing the family, yeah, anyway, if you look it up on YouTube, there's like a variety, short, guided, 9D.
So it would be different than when they do, like something actually a violin and it was throat, they did throat singing,
Oh, yeah.
but they did different instruments. Right? But I thought that it was a direct intention.
Buddhism in this book by Ray. Anyway, it's somatic heritage, someone who's been body. And it's not try to transcend yourself or ideas about meditation is to transcend yourself and get out into something above, greater, beyond, separate. But the opposite is it all comes through your own body. Yeah, that appealed to me right away. I was figuring this was a giant antenna. We're like the cutting edge of creation. Just venturing out with our antennas up to, like Lucy was saying, just to
2-minute warning, 2-minute warning.
So that's all. Well, shut up, transmitter. That's what I have to do. We do enough of that. And every week I'm going. There's a really good quote that Doris Lessing, remember Doris Lessing was quite a main author. She said we have about 66,000 discrete thoughts per day. And you think just how your mind just goes one thing to another. It's not necessarily any connection, just like someone saw her. Well, then the really interesting thing is she said like 2/3 of them are fear-based. No, they come from somewhere, but we react to them. Even if it's just like, geez, I wonder if there's any more tea back there. Well, that's sort of a fear. Or I wonder if my car's okay. So they're little things, right?
We're all intertwined, right? Even if we don't realize it consciously. And so you can step away
conditioning, right?
all of those things, all of them. But it's just the interconnectedness of all of us.
It's funny because I felt that when she was, when we were meditating, I felt the presence had come to the table. Didn't hear anything. Only I felt it on over here. Maybe my spatial awareness had mixed up, but it was you that came to sit there. I felt some more energy here.
And so that was, and you know, there's so much. I don't know when your blessing wrote that.
Decades ago.
Oh, really? So even then, before the world became what it is now, it was what it was then.
All right, everyone, come on back from your conversations. And as you're coming back, I'm just going to do a few announcements and actually going to hand out the You Are Beautiful blessing box. So for those who haven't been here before, there are a whole bunch of little affirmations in here, so just take one for yourself. It's just a little bit of inspiration after tonight's Elevate. For those of you who have been here, add to your collection. I know that you guys have, I don't know, hundreds at this point. If you want to know anything about any event that is happening here at VTC, then you can go to our events page on the website. There are little tent cards on the tables. On the tent card, there's a QR code that you can scan that will get you to the events page, and you can click on any event. There are tons of them. In-house programming, communities who rent our space, their programming, lots of stuff going on. So whatever it is you want to know more about, go to the events page. Tomorrow night is our second to last Spirit of Jazz and Soul summer concert series. We already have announced that we are going to be doing a fall and winter series starting on September 18th. Yep, going all the way to December 18th. But this series has been such an amazing, amazing experience for the community, for the musicians, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for VTC to just open up the space to musicians that would be working at Herman's while Herman's is closed. But it has been so well received that we're going to keep doing it starting in September again. But tomorrow night we have an amazing threesome. So do you want to tell us about who's on deck for tomorrow, Kelby?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. The So Jazz has been so inspiring for all the musicians involved, and I think for all the people who are coming. It's so beautiful to talk to people who have maybe just walked here from somewhere close or have heard about it. So tomorrow night is going to be something pretty beautiful. There's a wonderful multi-instrumentalist named John Lee. He's a pretty renowned bass player, guitar player, piano player, drummer, and organist. And he's pretty dynamic and a virtuoso on all of those instruments. And so when I reached out to him to say, hey, what would you like to do if you'd like to come in to So Jazz? I was expecting he was going to play piano, where he really kind of shines and does his thing super like, boom, really big. And he said, no, he'd like to bring in this beautiful vocalist named Stella White and a really understated, sophisticated piano player named Thomas Anderson, and himself to play bass. So he's got this idea to bring in these two younger players. John loves to mentor. He's young himself, but he loves to work with younger players. So I think it's going to be something really special. I think they've been working on the material, and to say that they're young shouldn't in any way indicate that they are not world class. They're just young. So it'll be a really special night tomorrow, and I would encourage you to come by. They'll be doing some standards, jazz standards, and telling some beautiful stories through songs. So please come tomorrow night for So Jazz, 7 p.m.
Thank you. 7 to 8:30 p.m. Suggested donation $20. All of it goes to the artists. VTC doesn't take any of it, so it is supporting our musicians. And I'm so excited to see Stella back on our stage. She was here at the second show that we had with Soul Intention, and that was my introduction to Stella White, and she's Sarah Vaughan Revisited. She is just phenomenal. So looking forward to everyone, because Thomas has actually been here at Celebrate a couple of times last year, but John Lee is new to me, but I know there are a lot of people looking forward to him being here tomorrow. So join us if you don't already have plans. Every third Saturday of the month, 90 transformational breath work right here in the sanctuary, an incredible somatic experience with a whole bunch of different vibrations and frequencies and sound to help move stuff that has been trapped in the body and the psyche for way too long. If you are interested and want to learn more, then please come and see me, or go to the events page on our website and check it out, and you can learn more there. We are having our first VTC community picnic. So members, ding, 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 if you haven't already put this on your calendar, Sunday, August 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. after Celebrate. It is our last Sunday before we close for a couple of weeks for our summer break. So bring a lunch, bring your blanket or lawn chair or whatever, and then we're all going to head down to Beacon Hill Park in front of the Children's Farm and Petting Zoo from 1 to 4 p.m. And one of our members, Sherry Morgan from Love is Round, and is also going to do a very special tree wisdom meditation with everyone. All right, for members, again, if you have any interest in attending the Canadian New Thought Conference in Nanaimo, September 18th to 20th, and you are challenged financially in making that happen, please put in an application, because there are 5 scholarships that are being offered by VTC this year to help support people in getting to that conference. And the due date for applications is this Sunday. So if you want a hard copy, there are some hard copies on the back table over there, the Imagine table, but you can also fill out an online form that was included in our newsletter yesterday, and on the weekend, it'll be there tomorrow again, and up until Sunday. How can I volunteer? One of the most amazing ways to volunteer is to be a greeter. It's just one way, but being a greeter means that you actually get to say hello to every single person who walks through that door. So if you would like to meet a bunch of really lovely people as they come to Elevate, then I invite you to think about being a greeter. And we also need greeters for Friday nights for the SoJazz event, especially starting up again in September. So if that is something that you would be interested in doing, we would love to expand our greeter team so that there are more people than just the little tiny, very devoted people that we have right now. So if you're interested, who are the board members here tonight? Stephanie, Denise, and myself. Come and talk to one of us, all right? Now, I already had a book picked out for September, but I'm not 100% with it. So I am asking you, for Elevate Spiritual Salon starting in September, what should our next book be? If there is a book that has a spiritual bent to it that is sitting on your shelf, whether you've read it or not, maybe it's not sitting on your shelf, but you're super curious about it and would love to bring it into community, please let me know, okay? Because I do have an idea for a book, but I want to hear from you what it is that you would like to chew on and get, immersed in for the next month or two when we come back in the fall. Spirit of Giving Challenge. Denise, could you please come up here? Every first Elevate and Celebrate of the month, we started this a couple of months ago, we have a draw. Everyone who donated to VTC in the past month, every time you donate, your name goes into the draw. So just pick until you find someone who's here, okay? So we have a name that we pull from Celebrate on Sunday morning and a name that we pull from Elevate on Thursday evening. And that person gets to decide where VTC donates 10% of all income from the previous month to a local charitable organization. And then what's super cool is VTC matches the donations, so we double that donation, and then we go and hand deliver these donations to these organizations, and our intention and our hope is that people from these organizations will start coming when invited to tell us about the good work that they're doing in the world, and this is one of the ways that we are building community together. All right. Hey, could we have a drum roll, please? It's me! All right, I'm gonna take it, thank you. Yes, all right, awesome, thank you very much. Denise chose last month Women's Transition House. Yep, Glenn at the back of the room, he also won and he chose Kids Sport. Donations have gone to the Rainbow Kitchen and to the Wilderness Committee, and now there are 2 new winners this month who get to choose where more money is going to be donated. So stay tuned for more, and the more often you donate, the more chances there are for your name to be drawn, and you need to be here, okay? So the first Elevate and first Celebrate of the month is when we do the draw, and then we donate the following month. All right, so that is our Spirit of Giving Challenge. Speaking of generosity and giving, now is an opportunity for us to be generous with spirit here at VTC. So if you feel uplifted, if you feel inspired, I'm offering my donation, my tithe. If you feel more connected, if you just feel better than you did walking in the door earlier, then I invite you to offer something, okay? And whether you are offering something financial or not, I invite you to spend just a few moments with the bowl anyway, this abundance bowl, because it's getting used to receiving a lot of money every Friday night. And so I would love for all of us to put an intention for more abundance, more prosperity, and more community, okay? So this bowl is going around. There is a credit card machine in there if you want to donate that way. If you do, please make sure you write your name legibly on the back so that our volunteer treasurer, Mary, can credit you with a donation. Otherwise, there are envelopes in there that you can put money in. If you want to credit it, if you're just putting money in, then you don't need to use an envelope. You can also do an e-transfer. There's information on the tent cards on how to donate, and otherwise you can ask someone who's a regular here and they will let you know, okay? However you are being generous of spirit, thank you very much for your presence and your consciousness. And thank you for being here tonight. So now it is time for some more music from the Elevate Trio before we sign off. Thank you. Music, what's that? Elevate Trio, Mr. Pablo Cardenas on piano, Peter Douse on electric bass, and Kelby McNair on drums. And that is basically another Elevate for another Thursday evening. Just a reminder that we are going to be closed from Friday, August 21st until September 9th. We're going to finish with an Elevate, and then we're going to come back with an Elevate in September. But during this time, no programming happening here at VTC. So for tonight, thank you again, Pablo, Peter, Kelby. Thank you so much to Danny and Nico on tech in the back. Thank you to my husband, Glenn, who put up another curtain to help block out the sun a little bit and keep it a little bit cooler here. And thank you to Denise for helping to set up, to get the table in order, and for being greeter extraordinaire. And thank you, of course, to everyone here, because without you, we would just be standing here playing to an empty room, but you make it community. So thank you for your presence. Thank you for your involvement. Thank you for being the love that you are. And we will see you, if not tomorrow, we'll see you next week at Elevate once again. Gentlemen, you want to play us out?